Okay, I'm back, y'all, and divinely grateful risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day. Welcome to the message. I am your host, Touche Germain, and y'all know we finna serve a little spirit and glam and spirituality. So let's fill our cup, okay? Y'all, I have so much to tell y'all. We are, of course, going to get into Bible clarity. We're going to get into this word. We are in Jeremiah 40. Then of course we're gonna get the clarity from the notes that I have, and then I have got a whole story that I'm gonna share with y'all about just the way that things have kind of unfolded for me this week. um this is, if you know, you know, this is the end of Mercury retrograde. Retrograde ends tomorrow. I'm recording this on April the 5th. um and I will give y'all some backstory about why I'm recording the day before. So this is literally many of these are getting ready to be right now words, more so. Normally I'm recorded up, and I was, but the Lord is making some changes and doing some things, and I had to reduce. I literally have had to. I'm redoing almost 2 weeks worth of work, but we'll get back into it in a second. Let's get into the Bible clarity. We're in the book of Jeremiah. You know what to do, ski booski. Like the live, share the love, drop something in the chat that you're grateful for. Let's get in the flow of abundance. Let's get into Jeremiah so we can get into this clarity, baby, because the clarity is hot today. Okay, so Jeremiah 40, Jeremiah remained in Judah. The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord after Nebuzaradan, the captain of the bodyguard, had released him from Ramah, when he had taken him bound in chains among all the captives of Jerusalem and Judah who were being taken as exiles to Babylon. And the captain of the bodyguard had taken Jeremiah and said to him, "The Lord your God promised this disaster on this place. Now the Lord has brought it about and has done just as he promised, because you, the people of Judah, have sinned against the Lord and did not listen to and honor his voice. Therefore, this thing has happened to you. But now listen carefully. Because of your innocence, I am freeing you today from the chains which are on your hands. If you would prefer to come with me to Babylon, come, and I will look after you carefully. But if you would prefer not to come with me to go to Babylon, then do not do so. Look, all the land is before you. Go wherever it seems good and right, convenient for you to go." While Jeremiah was still hesitating, the captain of the bodyguard said, "Go on back then to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, whom the king of Babylon has appointed governor over the cities of Judah, and stay with him among the people, or else go wherever it seems right for you to go." So the captain of the bodyguard gave him an allowance of food and a gift and let him go. Then Jeremiah went to Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, at Mizpah, and stayed with him among the people who were left in the land. Now, when all the commanders of the forces that were scattered in the open country of Judah and their men heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, governor in the land of Judah, and had put him in charge of the men, women, and children, those of the poorest of the land who had been exiled to Babylon, they went to Gedaliah at Mizpah. Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, Johanan and Jonathan the sons of Kareah, Sariah the son of Tanhumeth, the sons of Ephi the Netophah, Neto, Neto, Netophathite. Y'all wasn't even gonna give me no help, was it? Y'all wasn't even gonna give me no help to try to get through. Okay, I'm back. And Jezaniah the son of the Maccathite, they and their men. Then Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, swore to them and their men, saying, "Do not be afraid to serve the Chaldeans. Stay in this land and serve the king of Babylon, that it may go well with you. As for me, I am going to stay at Mizpah to stand for you before the Chaldeans who come to us, ministering to them and looking after the king's interest. But as for you, gather in wine, summer fruit, and oil, and store them up in your utensils, designed for such purposes, and live in your cities that you have taken over." Likewise, when all the Jews who were in Moab and among the people of Ammon and in Edom and who were in all the other countries heard that the king of Babylon had left a remnant of the people in Judah and had appointed Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, over them as governor, All the Jews returned from all the places to which they had been driven, and came back to the land of Judah to Gedaliah at Mizpah, and gathered a great abundance of wine and summer fruits. Moreover, Johanan the son of Kareah and all the commanders of the forces that were scattered in the open country came to Gedaliah at Mizpah, and said to them, "Do you know that Baalis, the king of the Ammonites, has sent Ishmael the son of Nethaniah to take your life?" But Gedaliah the son of Ahikam did not believe them. Then Johanan the son of Kareah spoke secretly to Gedaliah in Mizpah, saying, "Let me go and kill Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, and not a man will know who is responsible. Why should they he kill you and cause all the Jews who are gathered near you to be scattered, and the remnant of Judah to perish?" But Gedaliah the son of Ahikam said to Johanan the son of Kareah, "Do not do this thing, for you are lying about Ishmael." The end. Okay, the end. So, y'all, we have a lot. I have a lot. I know y'all kind of cocked like a pistol. Y'all work with the energy. I know y'all all in my grill. I know y'all is real up close in my face and in my personal spaces right now. But right now where I'm sitting, the sun has not, there would be a glare. So, y'all give it a second. Let's get into this Bible clarity. Let me just tell y'all. So, for many of you, there are definite, first of all, before I even get into this Bible clarity, let me just share this with some of y'all. There may be, before anything else, let's talk about a little bit of warfare. Just a little, right? We're not gonna spend a lot of time here, but we gotta talk about it just briefly. So, first things first, if the Lord, let me just explain how I'm gonna tell this to y'all. Cause yeah, so I hope y'all can hear me good. Y'all, I'm trying out some new microphones that I got. Preparation. Can we hashtag preparation and drop that in the chat? Hashtag preparation, because that's what's happening for many of us, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and share this with y'all because this is something, it's just a lot, but I want to make sure that I get all of this out here. For some of you, be very mindful because there are tricks and schemes and traps and snares of the enemy that you haven't seen before. Why? Because after you've been in a point, you've been in training, but now you're getting ready to come into a season of elevation, right? We've been talking about this season of transition, this moving forward that the Lord is doing in our life, calling us into our purpose, showing us who we are, showing us our identity, us accepting that call. Come on, drop it in the chat. I accept the call, right? Us accepting the call into to step into our purpose, to do what the Lord has asked us to do. So as a result of that, the enemy is also having to come up with new ways to try to trick you, try to sabotage you, try to deter you from walking in your purpose, to trying to make you think that you didn't hear what God said and you know what God said. Drop it in the chat. I heard you. I heard what God said. I know what the Lord said. And so one of the things that I have realized over this past week or so is that the enemy is trying to do anything he can to stop you from taking this next step. Many of you, come on, Spirit, many of you, the Lord is giving you a new set of directions, a new set of instructions, something new to create, something new to build. How do I know this? Because I can go ahead and tell y'all about this because it's coming, okay? It is on the way. And for the message, this, right? Y'all know this has always been a podcast and a talk show. It's always been that. I've only just been doing the talk show part of it. But now the Lord is getting ready to expand us. So make sure you give me a follow. Right now it's going to be on Spotify. Okay. Make sure you give me a follow on Spotify. The Message with Touche Germain is the name of the podcast. It's the same name here, same thing I do here, The Message with Touche Germain, because it's time for us to take the next step in our evolution, in our growth, and what the Lord is calling us to. Now, what I ended up realizing was that the Lord may, like the enemy, as the Lord is stepping you into something, the enemy is trying to, it's like he doesn't message, he doesn't have new he doesn't have new tricks, but there are some tricks that you hadn't seen yet. And as you come on, Spirit, as he gets ready, as the Lord gets ready to elevate you, you may be getting ready to see some tricks that you haven't seen before. But this is why you got to make sure that you are coming into communion with the Lord, that you like tapped in and like, listen, Lord, is this is this what you're saying? Is this you, or is this some kind of trap or trick or scheme of the enemy to try to keep you from walking in purpose? The Lord has been speaking to me. My spirit has been a little unsettled, y'all, because there was something that ended up happening for me, and I was like, Lord, why would you tell me to stop sharing the word of God? It was almost like the enemy was trying to come up. The way he was trying to come up against my purpose was trying to insinuate doubt. Um, Insinuate that this was not the step that I was supposed to take, or that I wasn't supposed to do things a certain way, or that no, that's not what the Lord said you are. That's not what the Lord said he said you're going to be. So again, just be mindful, y'all, that the enemy is trying to come up against your purpose, and he's a little bit more subtle, because remember, as you've been going through your wilderness season, just like Jesus in the wilderness, the enemy was very come on, spirit, the enemy was very blatant with the things where he was just in Jesus's face, like, turn these stones to bread if you the son of God, bow down to me and I'll give you all these kingdoms, like all these different things, like jump off this pinnacle, right? Jump off this precipice, so that the angels who the Lord has given charge over you will keep you in all your ways. And the Lord said, don't tell you. It is also written that you should not test the Lord thy God. And so the enemy is no longer. So then fast forward and we see another instance of where the enemy was a little bit more subtle. Come on, spirit, the enemy was a little bit more subtle in how he tested the Lord. And they're bringing up the fact that when Peter, who knew Jesus's purpose, and the Lord had to tell Jesus, get thee behind me, Satan. And so for some of you, what's happening is the enemy's trying to be a little bit more slick. He's coming, whereas before he may have been blatantly putting temptations in front of you, testing you, testing your character, your integrity. Now, because he knows that you're walking with Jesus, because he knows that you're walking in your purpose and you're committed to it, now he'll do some things that are a little bit more slick, a little bit more sly. Um, a little bit more almost undetectable. But when you walk with God and you truly commune with him and talk to him and are in right relationship with him, you know when he's speaking to you. They're even bringing up the instance of, and these are things that have happened for me, y'all, over the last couple of weeks, but the Lord is just allowing me to put scripture behind it and stories behind it so that y'all will understand, like, man, you see the difference, right? Come on, I see the difference. Drop that in the chat. I see the difference. And so, thank you, Lord. I thank you for revelation. So, the other part of it is like hearing God clearly. And this is how, come on, Spirit, this is how the Lord showed me that I was hearing him clearly. So, he gave me the example. Come on, Lord, I had to go study, y'all, First Samuel 3, and just multiple. There's been many things over this week that I've had to study, but this is the part about hearing God clearly that he's wanting me to talk about in this particular instance. And then we'll get into Bible clarity, and then we'll get into um the cards and all that good stuff, right? Come on, 13:26. So when Samuel was being called, right, the Lord was calling him. In the beginning, he didn't know. He thought that it was Eli calling him, but it was actually the Lord. So finally, Eli picked up on the fact that it was, and this is on the Page of Cups, right, in the New Bible Clarity deck, which we're gonna use today. So finally Eli recognized that it was, come on, Spirit, this is where I didn't even understand this, but I receive it, Lord. Eli finally realized that it was the Lord calling Samuel. So he told, now mind you, at this time, Eli's eyes are growing dim. So not only his physical eyes, right, but also his spiritual eyes. And so he said to Samuel, he said, the next time you hear this call, say, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening, for thy servant is listening, right? That's the gist of it. So the next time Samuel heard it, he said, speak, for your servant is listening. And the Lord made a very, like like he showed me a subtle differentiation and even just what Eli said, and then what Samuel actually responded when he heard the call of when he knew that the Lord was calling him. Because I hope I can try to make this make sense, because what, y'all explain it to me good. Okay. So because Eli was growing, his eyes were growing dim, his ability to see and hear the Lord were growing dim. he needed the confirmation. So he said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is for thy servant is listening." That's the instruction he gave. But when Samuel heard the Lord calling him, he simply said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." This is about the clarity of hearing God's voice, hearing your instructions. The difference was, and I hope I can say this the way the Lord is giving it to me. The difference was Samuel knew because he was walking faithfully with God, because he knew exactly who it couldn't have been nobody else for him. It couldn't have been there couldn't have been anything else. And this is that my sheep know my voice, right? So he didn't have to specify the Lord because he wasn't listening to anyone else. Does that make sense? He didn't have to say speak Lord because he was only listening to the instructions that God was giving him. Does that make sense? So for many of you, this is the way that the Lord explained it, or as he showed it to me. He was just like, it can just be ever so subtle. When you There's no confusion when God is giving you an instruction, when he's told you what to do. There's no confusion there. You're going to know it's because you're setting your heart, you're setting your mind, you're setting your spirit to only receive what is coming from God. Does that make sense, y'all? I hope that's tracking. So for some of you, maybe go and read or ask the Lord even for to so that you're only hearing from him. The Lord will send you through a season where you're not to listen, especially in your wilderness, where you're not listening to anyone else. So for some of you, God may be telling you that you need to not be listening to other folks as much. He will send you into the season when he's going to read message, when he's going to reconnect you with. I love you, Sandy. I just want you to know that I love you with my whole heart. I know you're gonna see this. Your message just came through. Um, you always be coming through with the confirmationals. Anyway, I'm back. I love you with my whole heart. Thank you so much. And so, um, this is about if you so if he's going to reconnect you at some point with people. He's going to send you back to the right people. He's going to send you to the people who will be able to minister to you. But for some of you, the Lord is calling you into a season where he needs you to understand, hear, and receive his voice clearly. So that's going to mean disconnecting. That's going to mean that you're going to have to focus in on hearing his voice clearly, hearing him, listening to him, and understand, and not allowing anyone else, no matter who it is. It does sometimes, come on, spirit. Sometimes even the people, and this could be, and I put myself here as well. I pray that I don't do it, but I even found myself, the Lord told me something about a message that I recorded but deleted. I don't ever want to speak into someone and make you think that you're not capable of accomplishing something. And so you got to be mindful because sometimes, and we don't, sometimes the enemy can persuade us or influence us through people, and we're not even aware. We're not even aware that it's happening. We're not even aware. And it's not even that that person is doing it on purpose, but this is the difference between hearing God's voice and hearing him clearly, and then hearing other things that going to go against your purpose, or try to confuse you. And it's the enemy, and it's a tactic. And the thing about it is, God is not the author of confusion. And so for some of you, this may be why the Lord is saying, hey, I need you to stop listening to so many messages, mine included. If the Lord is telling you to disconnect, if he's telling you to, so you can simply focus on hearing his voice, so that you make sure that you're doing what you need to do, following the instructions that he's giving you, and not being confused when it comes to your purpose. Does that make sense? um did I say? I hope I said that right, y'all, and I hope that makes sense. Because the first part of it, and even this is me even asking questions of the Lord myself, like, Lord, I need you to clarity something for me. Okay, I need some clarity on this. And sure enough, he's given me the clarity over the last couple of days of for something that I had kind of been struggling with this week. And he just kept on coming in confirming, and he's been giving me many confirmations about things that I needed to understand, and how we're going to continue to walk in our purpose. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Let's get into the Bible clarity, and then we'll get into the cards, y'all. We're gonna use the Bible clarity deck. Because I receive it and I'm grateful for it. Jeremiah 40. This is talking about Egypt, and y'all, this is leading up to something. And so let me also just tell y'all this. Y'all know me, this message might be a little long, but it is what it is, because I'm gonna do and give the messages that the Lord has asked me to give. Um, I had messages recorded out till next week. So everything, I think I only had two, I think I ended up deleting 8 hours worth of content, 8 hours of messages because they weren't complete. Come on, spirit, because they weren't complete, y'all. And that's what the Lord ended up letting me know. And again, these very subtle things that the enemy will try to do. The messages weren't complete. And he finally put the last little bit of check me in my spirituals yesterday, right? Because no, I wasn't talking about him. I was not talking about that. I didn't say that. You know, John, my uncle John, my bad, y'all. Spirit name is in the building. Clearly. I know John used to say that, but anyway, I'm back. So they weren't complete. There were still things that were left unsaid, and I had to go I just literally last night just had to delete everything because the Lord said, if you're going to do my work, you're going to do it with your whole heartness. You're going to do it with everything that I've given you, with every gift that I've blessed you with. And so I had to end up deleting them. Hence, this message coming out a couple of days, today's Saturday, the 5th, coming out a couple days before, whereas normally y'all know I'd be recorded up quite a while. But the Lord got me back on track. So for some of you, this is priorities, right? Making sure that you got your priorities right, making sure that you're following the instructions, being obedient to what the Lord is telling you to do as He's moving you forward. This is why all of us, we have to continue to know that we got to stand. We're not going to go back to Egypt. We're not going to go back to bondage. We're not going back to oppression. And many of you, I know for a fact that the Lord is getting ready to release you. He's sending you. You're like, it's really you coming out of your wilderness season. That ain't everybody. You have to know your season, like we talk about all the time. But this is about knowing that some of you, the Lord is really getting ready to break something off of you. I will. There's so many things, and as the Lord, we'll just keep going, and whatever the so says Father God is what we'll keep continue, so we can get through some of the notes. Right. Only the very poor remained after everyone was carried away. So even though it was like destruction of Jerusalem and Judah, there were still people that escaped or went to other places, and only the very poor remained. But the remnant that remained were still as obstinate as ever, and unhumbled and unreformed. And so this says, the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again. So here's the thing. At whatever the Lord has sent you into, which part about the oh, okay, let me go back to this because they're telling me to inform about this as well. Y'all, the enemy knows the Bible too, right? For some of you, this is why it is so important on this to dedicate your time to understanding what the Lord is saying to you. Because one of the things, and this is even coming back on how it can be the difference in a word, y'all. And that's why the Lord used the example of Samuel and Eli. Speak, Lord, versus this is Samuel having still a little confusion about, okay, who am I listening to? What am I hearing? What am I getting? What am I receiving? Versus Samuel knowing exactly who he's talking to, exactly who's talking to him. It's the same thing because sometimes it can be the difference in a word. And they're giving me the example. They're showing me like it's like how the enemy would try to take the word and manipulate it. Come on, God, try to take the word and manipulate it to make it fit his purposes. Does that make sense? And I can just be honest with y'all, like that's something that I didn't realize it, and I studied this, y'all, and I don't even remember exactly where it's at in my notes, but I studied this. It might have been Luke 12. Let me just double check because we here for it. Um, and at the time, me, of course, not knowing why I wasn't, just the Lord just be making things make sense. And sometimes it doesn't make sense until later. So for some of you, look, and I knew I just did Isaiah 61. Um, it's like don't get it twisted. The enemy knows the word too, right? This is why it's so important for you to take things back to the Lord, allow him to explain it, allow him to make it make sense to you. And that's why you have to make sure that even when you praying and reading the word, that you're asking him, and we should have prayed the prayer, that you're asking him for clarity, you're asking him for understanding, you're asking him to reveal to you what needs to be seen. Because the enemy, don't think for 1 minute that the enemy will not try to use the word to try to make you, to try to discourage you, or make you be like, oh no, it doesn't mean that. That's why you got to go to God for confirmation, because the enemy will try to manipulate you. Remember, I was just talking about, y'all, that the enemy is trying new things. And for those, the enemy knows that, let's say you've been reading the word, you've been reading the Bible, you dedicating your time to that, and and the Lord is giving you revelation, he's giving you understanding. For me, it was something brand new for me, for the most part, of the enemy trying to manipulate the word. And I didn't understand. Remember, y'all, that the Lord will always prepare you for the warfare that's coming. He'll prepare you for what you need to know, before it even comes to you. But this comes with you understanding or talking to him. This comes, look, that's the thing. This comes from you spending time with him. He's going to give you the preparation, and it may not immediately make sense, y'all, but the Lord is going to prepare you for what is coming up, what you're going to have to battle, what the next round of warfare is going to come to include. So I didn't realize what the Lord was preparing me for, but he knew exactly what he was preparing me for, right? So it's like the way that the enemy, even in the part, and again, y'all, wherever this is at, because I don't want to spend all day trying to look for this. It's like even him trying to telling Jesus he was leaving. He was like, throw yourself off of here. Throw yourself off this precipice, because didn't the Lord say his ain't like nothing would happen to you? Your ain't the angel's gonna take care of you. And so it's why you have to, the importance of you knowing the word for yourself, y'all. You receiving revelation from the Lord for yourself, because they're like, the enemy will take parts and pieces and try to make it fit to what he's, to manipulate you, to mislead you, to send you in another direction, tell you to stop doing something. Child, you got to know, like, this is why you have to know the word for yourself. I can only encourage people to read the Bible, because that's how you receive the revelation. That's how you, like, the Lord will start talking to you and letting you know, like, no, that's not what that means. That's not what that's saying. This is the enemy trying to manipulate my word into making you think something that is false, that is not true. So be very mindful of that, y'all. And because that was something that was really new for me, but me also understanding but then the Lord coming in and showing me exactly what the enemy was trying to do. Again, y'all, this is a battle, and it's a battle of the mind. And so this is why you have to be mindful of listening. Even to, I don't care who it is. And if I ever do it, Lord, forgive me. But it's, I'm grateful that the Lord is allowing me to share these things with y'all too, because if you don't, because otherwise you won't know. Many of us are stepping into a next level, a new level. So this is the importance of being crystal clear about what the Lord is saying to you. Jeremiah was first bound again. After being freed, he seemed to have been born to hardship and abuse, a man of sorrows indeed. Y'all, Jeremiah went down through that. Let me hit y'all. And thank you, Spirit Nim, Ancestor Nim, Jeremiah Nim. Thank you for the wisdom and knowledge, and even opening up and giving understanding of what, we're able to read now that he went through. Jeremiah, and I don't know, because I ain't been through all, I have not read all the prophets. As y'all know, we getting ready to read Ezekiel, and I have not read all of Ezekiel, but Jeremiah went down through there, y'all. Seemed like every time he was free, he was right back in bondage again, some kind of way. No matter how much like the Lord, he would go into something, he would go into captivity some kind of way, and all of a sudden he was right back in the struggle. You ever felt like that? Like, you just, no matter how hard, no matter what, it seems like you just can't get free. So we're grateful to be able to read about his experiences and his stories. Can't even imagine being him, well, kind of can, can't even imagine. But for him, there were things that he went through that we definitely don't want to see see ourselves, right? But he was. It seemed like he was always going through something. The Lord never said serving him was going to be easy, or that it wouldn't come with trouble, or that it wouldn't come with difficulties or challenges. But he always prepares us for what we're going to have to go through. He was again given rest, and by special order of the court was discharged. So this is him being released from this captivity again, being shown favor. Many of us, all of us, when you are really dedicated and sincere in following the Lord, right? Um, when doing his work and doing what he's asking you to do, let me just tell y'all, the Lord is going to take care of you. And he's not he didn't say that you wouldn't receive any trouble or go through any trouble, but he's going to take care of you through the trouble. They were warned but would not heed the warning given them by Jeremiah of the destruction to come. So we know that he warned them for message 40 years, okay? For 40 years, he warned them, like, listen, y'all, if you don't get your life, your spirituals in order, if you don't repent, if you don't get right with the Lord, this is what's going to happen. Don't be that person that the Lord got to keep telling you over and over and over. It's the warning before destruction. Everything that Jeremiah did was the warning before destruction. It was the Lord saying, don't, no, 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 but finally saying, okay, since you won't listen to the no, now it's going to be a yes. And then we want to be mad and blame the Lord because of what we were disobedient about. It ain't his fault, it's our fault. And we got to be accountable to that. And a lot of times, a lot of times we don't want to be accountable to that, right? We don't want to be accountable and take responsibility for how we ended ourselves up and the things that we went through, why we allowed things to happen so long, even after the Lord and told you that you know better. But we know better, but we don't do better. So if the Lord is warning you about something or he's showing you something, he's warning you before the destruction. So take heed, okay? He loosed him from his chains a second time and invited him to come with him, not as a captive, but as a friend or a companion. So again, this is for many of you, the Lord bringing destiny helpers and people connections. He's bringing help. I even read about this today in my Bible study, which y'all, if for some of you, there may be an urgency to something. This is Saturday, y'all. And first of all, the Lord put up daddy, but she was putting to check me in my spirituals, like again and stuff. We love you though. Love you, Lord. Um, I have so much that I have to share with y'all, and hopefully I can get it. I'm gonna try to get 3 messages done today, but there's normally on Saturdays I don't record. Normally I'm in the Bible all day or just kind of do whatever. But for who much is given, much is required. And the Lord is getting ready to elevate you to a place of He's going to give you more, so you're gonna have to put the work in. You're gonna have to the thing somebody's schedule's getting ready to change. Like you finna have to put in more work than what you thought you were gonna have to do because He chose you for this. I recorded the zodiacs on whatever day this was. What did I record those, y'all? Must have been like Tuesday. Today is Saturday, so this was like Tuesday, I think, that I recorded them. And I very specifically remember the Aquarius one because before I even read anything, I don't even remember what cards it was that I chose on that day, or that the Lord gave us on that day. But the first thing He told me, He was like, I chose you for this. Like this is your assignment. This is your work. He chose you for this. And all week it kind of has just been resonating with me, like all just in different places. He's just been like, but I chose you for this. So he's choosing you for something, and that something is great, and that something is amazing, and that something is his will and purpose for your life. But nobody said it was going to be easy. But many of you, yes, he's getting ready to add to you. So this is the importance of making sure that you're checking in with him. And yeah, you may have to do things on days that you wouldn't normally do. I'm recording today, tomorrow, every time that I have an opportunity, because it's the importance of getting these messages out here, right? Getting the word out the way that the Lord has given it to me. And so, also leading back up to, of course, y'all, eventually I'm going to be back doing these messages live, but it's a little harder, of course, while I'm in school. But the Lord, some of you, what's happening is the Lord is getting ready to show you what your next step is, which is why He's preparing you now for that promise. He's preparing you now for the next seed that is going to be planted. And so, Just know this, there are also people who are going to be showing up for you. He's bringing in new helpers, he's bringing in new assistants, he's bringing in people who are going to help you to get to your next level. He's This is a season of preparation, because again, y'all remember 2025 is the year of answered prayers. So even in your captivity, and for some of you, you're going to find unexpected help in the wilderness, unexpected blessings in the wilderness that the Lord is going to give you. A great change for Jeremiah. He had options where he wanted to go. He that lately was tossed from one prison to another may now walk at liberty from one possession to another. Drop this in the chat. I got options. Okay. The Lord is expanding some of y'all to the point that you're going to have options, that you things that were previously off limits to you, new revelation, new ways of doing things, new opportunities, new connections, like things that were previously off limits to you are now going to be available. He's going to get ready to start. It's like, I think I heard, I don't even remember who I heard say this, so I don't want to misquote it, but it was something to the degree of, the blessings are finna find you. That's the difference. Remember, we don't chase anything, we attract everything. We attract it because of our obedience. We attract it because God wants us to have what he wants us to have. But yes, you're going to have to go through some processing, some refining. You're going to have to get prepared for the Lord to bless you with what he truly wants to give you. And so some of you, because of the preparation that you've done, because of the obedience, because of the sacrifices even, and this is about also not doing things just for the sake of doing things. We not doing stuff just for show, because God knows when you're not true. He knows when you're not sincere. He knows all of that. He knows when you just faking the funk, not faking the funk with the nasty dunk. Who even says that anymore, y'all? Don't nobody say that. Don't nobody say not fake. I have not heard that in 50 11 Sundays. Anyway, I'm back. Spirit Nim, right? So he knows when you're insincere with what you're doing, whether it's giving, right? Whether it's giving, whether it's fasting, whether it's showing up in the word. Are you only doing it for selfish gain? We'll talk about that in another. This is, I want to say it's in 36 when we gonna talk about Baruch. Are you doing things with the right heart posture? Are you doing it simply so that you can gain status and recognition, or do you have a true desire to serve God and do His will and purpose? And so for some of you, that may be a question that you gotta look at yourself, right? Because God wants us to do the work that He's blessing us to do with the right heart. He wants you to do it with completion. Okay. Sudden thoughts sometimes prove wise ones. And this, y'all, again, I have already studied up to Jeremiah 48. Okay. And so I'm going to easily be able to go through and give the messages. But remember, I just told y'all I had recorded all of these already, but again, the Lord said it wasn't complete. So now I'm coming back and doing them over. Sudden thoughts sometimes prove wise ones. Last night, it was a little after 11, I reckon. And I just had the thought, because I had been waiting on the Lord to answer me on something, and He finally did. And that's what made me just delete everything that I had recorded, everything that all of the messages that were already done, because I was just like, okay, Lord, I'm tracking, because there was something missing. I was missing. Come on, Spirit. I was missing from the messages. What does that mean? God was there, but I was not using every gift that he has blessed me to get to use. And so many of you, the Lord, this is also speaking to authenticity. The Lord is getting ready to he's giving you a structure. He's giving you a format. He's giving you a way. And for me, something that what I wasn't recognizing was that, like we're doing now, y'all, where I'm giving y'all the notes and then we still gonna get the message. That's the format. That's the setup. Some people are not gonna stay for that part of the message, which that's cool. That's completely up to them. But the Lord has made it so that he has me using a format that gives everybody some of what they need. You don't like using the cards? Cool. The Lord said, well, let me use the first part of the message, just giving a prophetic word. Okay, Lord, cool. Use the first part of the message to just give people what I'm telling you to say from the Spirit, because they don't believe that or maybe there's some people who won't believe that me using the cards is not it's not coming from the Lord. That's fine. So he said, well, let me make a demonstration of my power and who I am and use you in the way that I need you to be used. So there are some people who may receive what they need, their food, their bread from this part of the message, which is no cards, no nothing. It's simply me giving you thus says the Lord, right? There are some people who still are on the edge of belief. Come on, spirit. There's some people who are still on the edge of belief and not really and still need the signs and wonders, which is something that the Lord has told me that I'm going to be responsible for doing. It's part of being an apostle, right? Where they went out and they did signs and wonders and miracles in order to make people believers. So this is why come on, spirit, this is why I tell y'all that when the Lord said it wasn't complete, because I was hiding part of myself, I was hiding part of my gift. I was thinking, it had almost, because I can be honest about it, because the Lord convicted me and put that, check me in my spirituals, and I got to share this with y'all because you'll experience this. Where if you're not giving your whole self, if you're not using your entire gift, your entire heart with what the Lord is blessing you to do, you're going to feel incomplete. And that's how I felt, y'all, over this past over these 8 messages. I want to say it was 8 or 9 messages that I recorded. I felt incomplete. I felt like there was a part of me, a part of the Lord that was missing from the messages that I was given because I used one part. And a lot of this is revelation that the Lord is giving me right now as well, y'all. That there was, because I wasn't, let me just tell y'all, I didn't use any cards at all in the last 8 messages that I recorded. They were just nothing but, okay, I'm just gonna spend this whole time just reading what the notes that I have and giving the message that way. And the Lord just kept on telling me, like, ain't some missing, ain't some missing, ain't some missing. And I'm me thinking that because I was trying to conform to the way that the world thinks that I'm supposed to show up as use this gift, or show up as a prophet, show up as a messenger, show up as an oracle, whatever you would like to call it, right? And so I found myself diminishing myself and diminishing a gift that the Lord has blessed me with, because there are people who are going to catch the tail end of this message and be able to see the signs and wonders and miracles that the Lord does through the cards. And there are people who will catch the first part who are believers and don't need to see the signs and miracles and wonders, but can also receive confirmation from it. Does that make sense? So again, when I tell y'all that the enemy will try to be slick, he'll try to show you, he'll try to make you diminish yourself in some way, not do what the Lord has told you to do. This is something that I didn't even realize until the Lord gave me revelation about it. And so that's why I said this when it says thoughts or sometimes proves wise ones. It's the same thing with creating the message podcast, which I'm going to release this on the podcast version, right? And I wasn't going to do that. But the Lord had given me an instruction. And then I was like, well, Lord, how am I going to do this on the podcast? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because my whole thing was, well, let me not use the cards, because how are people going to see the cards on the podcast? He said, you better go do this show. He said, you better go do it. And then he told me something else that put under some again, y'all. This has been a week where the Lord has just been like, let me show you how you're going up against me, how you're sinning against me by not doing what I told you to do. And even this morning, y'all, hence me coming on here and starting and giving messages, because just this morning in my Bible study, he told me where to go last night. I went this morning. He started showing me what he didn't even this the thing, because let me just I listened to a message last night. I knew because of an instruction that the Lord had already told me. Let me just go and tell y'all. Some of y'all, the Lord is calling you to fast. Okay. Some of you, the Lord is calling you to fast. I already knew that I was getting ready. I had already known that I was getting ready to start a fast. And so, and I even said the last time I was like, oh, I'm not going to tell y'all when I'm fasting. But the Lord but I already knew the day that he was telling me to start the fast. So I was like, okay, bet. And so so I set my fast up and I was just like, so this is what I'm fasting for, and I had my 3 things that I was fasting. I'm have my 3 things that I'm fasting for. But today I go and I'm reading about fasting because of a message that I received last night, a confirmation. And in that, I didn't even finish I didn't and I will, but the Lord just kept telling me, go record, go record, go record. And the only part of what I got through was the Lord saying, let me show you how you're sinning against me. And let me show you how you're being rebellious. Let me show you how you're not doing what I'm asking you to do. And as a result of that, here I am recording um because I had to be obedient. And he will show you as well how certain things that you think you're doing are not always right, or certain notions or ideas that you think you have are not always right. So he did that. So sudden thoughts will sometimes prove wise ones. If you get something and if the Lord speaks into your spirituals to do it, please do it because there's a reason for it. It is friendly to give advice. Don't be angry if our advice is not taken. People ain't always going to receive what you're taking, what you're telling, right? Um, and many of you, as the Lord is sending you into new places, just know you're going to meet some opposition. They're going to be people who, again, are not going to want to receive what you're saying. And the Lord is preparing me for Ezekiel. Let me just tell y'all that. Y'all know I oftentimes say that I feel like I'm walking out the word. The Lord is preparing me message. He's preparing me for Ezekiel. Y'all, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm supposed to have 5 hours of this, this mic, but the other day it ran out. But you're right, I didn't, huh? I didn't charge it up all the way. That was my fault. I charged it up this time. Okay, I'm back. Look, everybody ain't gonna heed what the Lord may be telling you to tell someone something very specific, and they may not want to listen. They may not hear it, they may not receive it, and you got to be okay if they don't receive it. Jeremiah, this is and in reference to this, they're talking about when the captain of the bodyguard said, you can go this way, you can go that way, go here, go do this. He wasn't mad because Jeremiah wasn't taking his advice. He said, you can come back to Babylon with me. And this is in another part of the note. He would rather go and stay with the people than go to somewhere that he didn't want to go to. Jeremiah could do what he felt was best and what pleased him, and he was provided for in the doing of it as he was given support by Nebuzaradan. So, for many of you, I'm telling you right now, if you just stay obedient to the Lord and continue to do what he's asking you to do, he's going to make sure that you have everything you need. He's going to make sure that you're blessed. He's going to make sure that people show up and support you. He had freedom and support. He chose to dwell with the poor in the Holy Land rather than the princes in the unholy land. So he chose not to go to Babylon, even though he probably would have been treated very good there. He chose to stay with the people who needed the support, who needed the help. And it's crazy. So many things, y'all. It literally, I saw a message, or I think I saw it was this is just a shout out to anybody. I'm not even gonna say the name on that, but because it might come up, because I feel like I'm gonna do it might be a celebrity spotlight. Um, it's a blessing for those, whether you are in a place of elevation, no matter where the Lord has taken you. We are called to make sure that we're still helping the people who are on the way up, who need help. This is being a generous, a cheerful giver, right? Being generous of spirit. There are people who still need us, and yes, the Lord will call you to sacrifice and give so that someone else can give, can have. Because there are people who don't have the same faith and belief in the Lord. And I even told the Lord to forgive me for this, because even I can think, even as early as last week, there was a man who was on the street, or he walked up to me and he was just like, he wanted cash, and I didn't have any cash. And so I told him that, I told him as much. I was like, I don't have anything. And I had just come out of Aldi, y'all. And I was like, I don't have anything. And so I felt, because he wanted money. And I was like, my bad. And so anyway, he walked off. Well, I heard the Lord tell me, like, go offer him something anyway. So found where he was. And because he didn't get far. And so then I drove up to him and I was just like, hey, I don't have any money, but if you want to wait right here, which I've done this plenty of times, if you want to wait right here, I'll go grab you something to eat. I was like, I'll go over here and grab you something to eat. And he was just like, no, I need money for the week and so on and so forth. And so he declined that offer. And I felt bad about it, because I was like, and I didn't really have anything, but I was just like, well, Lord, I felt bad because I didn't have it to give. And he just said, and sometimes the Lord will just is testing your characters to see, are you willing to give? Are you willing to do something even in the face of, because I felt bad because I didn't have it to do. And he was like, sometimes it's the point that you're just even willing to do something. Sometimes it really is the thought that counts. That you were still willing to offer something, even though you can't give everything that the person wants. And so he said he had he literally said to me, he was like, you couldn't do that, but you offered to do something, and he declined what you offered. And that's coming through on sometimes people. You can offer to people, but if sometimes people won't take it if it's not what they want, if it's not what they want to hear, if it's not the way that they want to receive it. And I can just tell you this: I done been hungry a many a day, okay? And so I would much rather. Any blessing is a blessing. There have been days when it was the difference between me eating and not eating, where I don't care if it was $5. If someone wanted to offer, give me $5, that was enough for me to get something to eat. And so for some of you, this is also about being grateful for small blessings, being grateful for the little things, right? Because sometimes that is the difference between and then also us sometimes you may not have every you be willing to offer, be willing to give something, okay? Um Gedalia was one of them, given rulership over what was left, having found favor with Nebuzaradan, or Nebuchadnezzar rather. And so Gedalia was one of them, put in charge of them. Served that he made the decision, the wise decision, like, hey, serve the king of Babylon and you'll be provided for. Serve the king of Babylon and it shall be well with you. This is God's doing, in an easier sentence carried than with disobedience. Do what God is telling you to do, child. If He is telling you to do something, make sure you're doing that. They had free enjoyment and profit of the fruit of the land. They gathered wine and summer fruit. They were plentiful. They were abundant. Gedaliah sought not his own profit, but the profit of many. He really was a good person and interested in doing what was good for the people. When God begins in judgment, He will make an end to it. And we're gonna talk more about judgment as we continue to move forward. So we in that, okay. Happy are those who can take the wise in their own craftiness. Some of y'all, the enemy, child, listen, big mad, ain't it? Big mad because the Lord is giving you a strategy that is allowing you to combat the enemy. He's giving you a strategy, and the enemy thought he had you. Drop it in the chat. Lord, he thought he had me. But look at God. But look at God. He thought he had you. He thought he was going to be able to take away a gifting. He thought he was going to be able to convince you to not follow God to the fullest, not have a heart for the Lord. He really thought he had you. And the Lord is now giving many of you, blessing you with instructions and a way to navigate right around what the enemy thought he was doing. The greatest earthly king cannot secure us against fraud and treachery. Um, you can't out it ain't a person on earth that can out God, that can trick God, that can think that they know more than God. Um, Many have been ruined by being overconfident of the fidelity of those about them. Thank you, Spirit. This is about knowing that your sustenance, that God is your source and your resource, and He is the one who is going to provide. Um, and the last part of this, and we finna get into the message, Gedalia was warned and didn't believe what he was told. So some of you, this is about the Lord warning you, showing you, preparing you for betrayal, because that's what we're going to talk about in the next message, for preparing you for betrayal, preparing you for people that the Lord is getting ready to reveal to you, getting ready to reveal people's true colors, getting ready to reveal how people really feel, getting ready to reveal that some people wanted to see you at your lowest and never thought that you were going to climb, never thought that the Lord was going to take you up, but the Lord getting ready to show them that He meant what He said. And sometimes it sucks, right? Sometimes we don't take the warnings that the Lord gives us, and or He'll send someone to warn us. He'll send someone to let us know something, and we won't heed that warning. And so in this case, Gedalia was warned, like, look, they ain't up to no good. They got ill intentions. For some of you, the Lord is going to show you. He's going to reveal the people, the characters, the situations that are not for your highest good. So just be prepared for that. And it's, again, warning before destruction. Gedalia was warned, but he didn't heed it, and so therefore he ended up suffering some consequences. Oh, let's do it. Let's get to it. Let's see what the message is, y'all. We finna use the new Bible Clarity deck. Y'all just have no idea. This week has been something serious. It has been something serious, y'all. I can't name y'all, and y'all know it. I literally told Spirit Name because it was really a time where it just had to be me and the Lord. There was a lot of renewal that happened for me in this week, but it was also the Lord had me to a degree. It was like isolation in the isolation as He was preparing me and giving me instructions for the next step. Um, it was so much. So some of you the Lord may, and again, he's preparing us, y'all, because it's time to go up. Okay, here we go. All it do it, child, a mess. Y'all, you just better throw the whole cards away. I cannot make this up. The Page of Cups. Wasn't, didn't, you know what, Lord, Lord, if you had just wanted to show up in the message and for confirmationals, just say that. Because what the message is the message. The Page of Cups. Didn't we just talk about this card? Let me just read it for y'all. Samuel. Samuel. The Spirit Nim ancestor Samuel Nim. We love it. Didn't we talk? Was I here? We said it. Let me make sure my mic is still. Is my microphone out? It's still on. Samuel was a young boy who served the Lord under Eli, an elderly priest. God called Samuel while he was sleeping in the temple. Samuel ran to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me." Eli said, "I did not call you. Go back and lie down." God called Samuel again, and again Samuel ran to Eli, but Eli continued to say he didn't call him. God called Samuel a third time. Eli realized that God was calling Samuel. Eli told Samuel to say, "Speak, Lord, for thy servant is listening." If God called him again, God called Samuel again, and Samuel answered, "Speak, for thy servant is listening." God told Samuel that he would do something in Israel that would make everyone who heard about it very surprised. Samuel's calling was a transition from Eli to Samuel as a spokesperson for God. Samuel's first prophetic act was to announce the destruction of Eli's house. Your destiny is calling. Lord, we just thank you in this moment. We thank you that for confirmation. We thank you for continuing to show up in our lives and show us and bless us with gifts that you said what you said, y'all. We can't make this up. I can't make it up, right? I told y'all, man, again, the whole point of me telling y'all that story in the very beginning about like being called into your destiny and telling y'all like when something when if you gonna serve the Lord, you got to serve him with everything that you are. I have given my life over to this. The Lord has shown me where we're going. I don't have a clue how to get there because I ain't doing nothing on my own strength. I don't have no gifts. The Lord is gifting me to be, the Lord is my gift message. The Lord is my gift, and Him allowing me to just use what He's given me to help people come closer to Him, get to want you have a desire to know Him. That is the gift, y'all. That is the gift. So I'm telling you right now, the Lord calling us into purpose, and He's not allowing us to not utilize everything that He's blessed us with, y'all. So just know that the Lord is saying, "You heard me clearly." And can I just also say that this card is a confirmation for me because y'all, when I got the Bible Clarity deck, this is the first card, and I think I said this on another message. This is actually the card that I received when I got two cards for myself. It was the Seven of Pentacles and this cup, this Page of Cups. And so this is even a confirmation for me right now that I heard the Lord clearly. I heard him very clearly. And the things that I'd prayed about, I'd asked him about, this is his confirmation to me. Come on, Spirit. This is his confirmation. Like, no, you heard me. You heard what I said. So this is why it's so important to make sure that you are taking that time, y'all, to commit to hearing God's voice clearly, to following his instructions, being obedient. Because if you many of you don't even realize that you're already in alignment with what God has told you to do. You're already doing what He's asked you to do, but the enemy is trying to, again, very subtly trying to deter you from that. So just keep that in mind. What else? Yeah, child. Y'all has said it. Y'all, the angels been ministering about it. We got the King of Wands that is coming out next. We receive it, Lord. This is Saul, leadership and arrogance. Okay. Saul is depicted as the first king of Israel, chosen by the prophet Samuel to unite the tribes and lead them against their enemies. particularly the Philistines. I be want to say Philistines anyway. I'm vague. Although initially a successful military leader, Saul's reign is marked by disobedience to God and growing pride, ultimately leading to his downfall and tragic death on the battlefield, where he took his own life after losing a battle against the Philistines, paving the way for David to become king. Let me just say this, because of course we know the story about Saul. Many of you, something that the Lord, because again, y'all, we don't have anything but what the Lord has given us. And for some of you, and this may be coming up in a later message, there are some people who the Lord now is putting into a place of leadership, because the King of Wands is a card of leadership. And I use Saul, and well, the Lord bless me. Thank you, Lord, to use Saul on this, because he was very good at being the king, right? The first king, but his pride got in the way. And this is something we have to pray about, y'all. Like we don't have any abilities or strength or understanding on our own. It all comes from God. There's not a single thing. All I'm doing is giving a message that what the Lord is telling me to say. I don't have any words. I don't have the wisdom. He has the wisdom. I don't have the knowledge. He has the knowledge. He gives me what to say. And so many of you, what's happening right now, he's placing you in a position of power and authority. Many of you are getting ready. Part of your destiny, part of your calling is to be in, come on, Spirit, is to be in a position of power and authority. So he's equipping you for that. It literally, when I looked over there, y'all, it said 10011. He's equipping you for leadership. He's giving you everything that you need. This is for some of you, this could be business. He's getting ready to give you new business opportunities and business ideas. But this is about not being prideful. Make sure, and I talked about this, and well, I don't know. Well, it don't even matter now, huh? But for some of you, what has happened, and there's a message coming up. Come on, Lord. Message. I can't make this up. I am that I am. Y'all know this is the Hierophant card, and y'all know we always gonna keep the Lord when he show up, right? Um, what for some of you, what has happened, what, and let me tell y'all this story, because y'all know I always use my testimony to witness for God, right? To be a witness for him. Many of you, the Lord knew he had already created you to be a leader. He had already created you to be in a position of power and leadership and authority. But this is for some of you, the reason that he had to humble you first was so that you wouldn't be prideful when you got there. When he takes you to this next level, you have to realize this is about giving God the glory. And I tell y'all this, and I've told y'all this story before. Once upon a time, several years ago, this must have been, gosh, I want to say what, 2022? It had to be 2022, 3 years ago. I ended up getting into a place, going in rooms that I wasn't ready for. But why? Because I was very prideful. My ego, my pride, and I think I said it this very way. My pride got me into rooms that I was not equipped to handle, around people and places and situations that I was not equipped to handle. So what happened? The Lord humbled me, right? He sat me down, and he had to then, in the last 3 years, the Lord has then since worked on my character. He's worked on my integrity, and he's still doing this. This is a work in progress. Drop it in the chat. Hashtag I'm a work in progress, right? So he's still doing this. This is not something that is just like, oh, okay, that's done. No, this is the Lord. This is him continuing to develop these things for you. And so this is me even saying, thank you, Lord. I receive the refining. I receive it, because we don't want to be prideful in the things that the Lord blesses us with, because it's simply on loan to us. It doesn't really belong to us. We only have it because he said so. And so I'm grateful that the Lord humbled me. I'm grateful that he then sent me into a season where he had to take me all the way to the bottom. We don't want to be humiliated, but when you won't get your heart and your spirituals in order, the Lord will humble you. He will sit you on your butt. Will okay. So, but understand this, and I have it written somewhere in my notes, y'all, where literally the Lord is just like, if he tears you down, I want to say I was studying Acts. I think I was in the book of Acts, and it was something about, I think it was 26. And the Lord was saying, if he tears, he'll also bind up, he'll also heal you. If he humbles you, if he makes you go low, it's so that he can raise you up again, because he knows he knows what he has destined you to do. He knows who he created you to be, but he has to prepare you for the role. He has to prepare you for the position. He has to prepare you to do the work that he's given you to do. The Hierophant. I am that I am is the divine name God reveals to Moses in Exodus 3:14 when Moses asks for his name at the burning bush. God responds, I am that I am, signifying his eternal, self-existent, and unchanging nature. This name establishes God as the ultimate being, independent of time and creation. It reassures Moses and the Israelites that God is with them and will deliver them from Egypt, what we're just talking about. And we're not going back to Egypt. And that's a whole nother message coming up. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. This profound statement of divine identity becomes foundational in biblical theology, later echoed by Jesus in the New Testament when he declares, I am. John 8:58, affirming his divinity. Okay, so for many of you, yes, the Lord is revealing to you who you are. He's revealing the leader in you, He's revealing the power and the authority in you. He's making sure that you know who He created you to be. Part of you have a destiny that includes leadership. It includes leading multitudes, leading the nations. It includes things that you didn't even think that you were capable or qualified for. And y'all know I say this all the time, and I say it to the Lord all the time, like, Lord, who am I? Who am I, a sinner? Who am I, like, who am I to deserve this, child? Who am I that you bless me with these gifts, the ability to communicate with angels, the ability to receive divine revelation, the ability, like, who am I that you would bless me with these things? And let me just say this for some of you as well. It is not boastful to be thankful for the gifts that God has given you. And many of you, that's a part of what the Lord put to check me in the spirituals, and now I'm sharing what He's telling you. He's like, listen, I've blessed you with something, and I've blessed you with something that's different, and I've blessed you with something that's unique. And we'll talk about that on the next message. I've blessed you with something that is going to be a blessing to other people. And so a lot of times what'll happen is the Lord is not saying that you should be braggadocious, not braggadocious. Whose spirit names is this? Because y'all using words that don't nobody say. You've been gone long. We don't say that. It is not, this is something to be grateful for, but you're not going around saying, I'm gifted. Yeah, I'm gifted. Like, yes, we are. Yes, we're thankful. Yes, we're grateful. But for whoever this is for, this is a lesson that this is teaching us about humility, right? Because some of you, what the Lord is actually fixing in you is your pride. And that's why I can speak, because I don't feel like I know nothing. And the Lord be like, no, you know something. Don't be saying what you don't know all the time, because there's some things that you just do. There are some things that you do know. You know because the Lord has taken you through an experience. You know because it ain't no way that you would know if God wasn't telling you. You know because God has shown you. So for some of y'all, the lesson is in your pride. The lesson is thinking that you, like, puffed up. That's something you hear a lot in the Bible, like puffed up. Like, this is why the Lord sat me down and had to humble me and show me, like, you really ain't, you're not what you think you are, right? Especially then, to where now you like, man, I'm just a person. I'm just a sinner. I ain't really got nothing going. It's the difference between being humble and being arrogant, like thinking humility, right? Thinking very lowly of yourself, like, who am I ain't nobody. I'm just a regular person. I'm just, you know because what's happening for many of you in the shift that is happening within your spirituals and within your mindset is realizing that it's all to everything, wherever the Lord is taking you to, whatever this position of leadership is, and authority that He's giving you, it's just to give God the glory. Every blessing that's coming into your life is simply to give God the glory. It's not you did it, it's God did it. Drop it in the chat. God did it. Whatever he's giving you leadership over. This could be a family, this could be a job, this could be a position, a new position. Come on, increase. Is You're only there because God is putting you there. So just remember that, okay? Don't start getting the big head. And I literally wrote that somewhere in my notes. Like, don't start getting the big head. It was when I was studying Acts 26. And look, there go the fire card as well on the cut. Don't start getting the big head because the Lord is getting ready to elevate you. Remember that He has a very specific purpose for why He's elevating you, why He's putting you in new rooms, in new arenas, why He's allowing you now to be seen by people who maybe discounted you. That's a whole nother message for a whole nother day. Come on, work, 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 work. Assignment, right? Um, We're not going to get the big head. We're going to give God the glory because that's what we're doing all this work for anyway, right? I shuffle past it. Let's clarity it and see what's happening, and then we'll be done, child. Y'all know I be try not to keep these too long, but the message is the message, and we're going to get the word of the Lord out here. So, yes, many of you, the Lord is getting ready to step you into positions where you can give him the glory. Wherever you're going, whatever he's stepping you into, just remember who you serve, right? Who do you serve? Drop it in the chat. Who do you serve? I'm not gonna tell you what to answer. I'm gonna let you answer it yourself. Who do you serve? Who and if you are always in remembrance of who you serve, you'll continue to stay in alignment with his service, with what he's asking you to do. Come on, harvest. You'll continue to move, like he'll continue to instruct you and guide you and making sure that you're walking in your truth. So whoever needs this message, yes, the Lord is promoting you. Okay. This is a season of promotion where he's sending you into new places and spaces. Um, he's giving you and he's increasing you, but this is a part of your destiny. What do we got? All to do it. Divine timing, we have the watch card that is coming out first. Told you moments of core of God's waiting room, season, duration, endure. This is Mark 9 and 1. And he said to them, truly, I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see that the kingdom of God has come with power. Told y'all, many of you, this is your time is now. Drop it in the chat. My time is now. Okay, my time is now. Um, You've been waiting, you've been patient, you've been diligent, you've been consistent, you've been showing up, you've been persevering, you've been in the waiting room for a month of Sundays, but you didn't give up. You won't let it's like not allowing the enemy to beat you or tell you that you didn't hear what you heard or not you know what you're supposed to do and you continuing to just walk in that. Some of you don't even realize like the simplest decisions that you've made are the things that God is commending you for. The thing your patience, being willing to endure, even if it's been the hardest trial and situation that you've been through. There go the angels. When we talking about, for he will give his angels charge over you. Trying to tell y'all, hey y'all, love y'all. So many of you don't even realize, and this is your angels preparing, protecting, going before you. The Lord has already sent your angels out on a mission, on a divine assignment to make sure you're good. Some of y'all, sometimes people don't, it's like, and I have this written. Where is it? Let me find it. I just wrote it the other day. It's something, was it yesterday, y'all? Let me see. Oh, that's a whole nother message. And I'm probably going to say it again, but they're bringing it to my remembrance. And it's something about protection. Oh, where is it, y'all? Y'all know I got 5,100 pages of notes. The message is the message. It's something about protection, like being divinely protected, being, I don't know, y'all. Y'all know me. I had to go get a whole nother notebook just yesterday because it's something about divine protection. I bet you it's gonna come up I'm gonna end up finding it somewhere else, but anyway, because I don't see it. So I'm just gonna move past it. But just know this: you got protection, and the Lord has already sent your angels out. Okay, He's already sent your angels out in order to make sure that the path is clear, for where, especially when with this position He's stepping y'all into. So just know that I got drop it in the chat. I got heavenly help. Okay, let's see what this card is. Distraction, detours. Okay, this is Hebrews 12:28 through 29. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe. For our God is a consuming fire. This is talking about pivot, direction change, rerouting, dishonest, projection, fake. Many of you, there have been, be mindful because you're going to have an opportunity. The what's the what y'all just said, the counterfeit before the kingdom. Many of you, there are going to be opportunities, but this is why you're getting ready to have options. This is also why you need to take everything to the Lord and confirm with Him what's sent from Him and what's not. He's going to give you confirmation. That there are certain things, that certain opportunities that are just they're not meant for you, they're not for you. And I can't, how do I explain that, y'all? if it does not align with the vision that God has given you, if it does not align with what He has told you that you are meant to do. And for some of y'all, this is like being very careful because there'll be opportunities that look good, but you just gonna, if this is why you have to spend that time with the Lord when you'll just know He's gonna be like, no, he gonna know. He's going, you're going to know, and you're not even gonna know, understand why you know that it's a no, but you're gonna know. Message. Like it's understanding that, right? That everything, there's some things that the Lord is going to say no to. And even if you, you may be like, well, I wonder why the Lord wouldn't allow that, or because it's not for you, because there's something that He knows about it that you can't quite see. So pay attention if the Lord gives you like a little warning sign or something, because what we're not going to do crazy, because Sandy just commented on one of the messages, and she was, and I think it was a reel, and I posted, and it's literally called priorities. And she was like, I'm going to get my priorities in order. Is so for some of you, this is about releasing any distractions, releasing any, and even like doubt, because that's the one that the Lord is showing me. Is like, don't doubt your destiny. Don't doubt what the Lord has told you to do and called you into, because the enemy message, so says spirit. Okay. Um, don't doubt what the Lord has told you. And this is going to be it, because the spirit card is clarity, the I am that I am card, which is speaking about energy, essence, life force. Let me tell some of y'all, let me tell you this, and then we finna go. Many of you, how do I say that, Lord? If you are feeling disconnected, if you are, it's, if you're feeling like you're not using, like I just, well, because he's ending this with, if you're not using every part of yourself. And the best way that I can explain this, y'all, is that the Lord he showed me, he made me go through a series of things to confirm my calling, to confirm how he wanted to use me in this season. And so for some of you, the Lord, He's allowing you to go through these trials and tribulations because He's got to make sure that you're going to stand on what He has instructed you to do. It's like the Lord doesn't test us, but He has to make sure that you're committed to His will. He has to make sure it's Him allowing you to go through this warfare, because we know He can end it at any time. He does. So for many of you, what's happening is the Lord is ending some of the things that you've had to experience, that you've had to go through, the trials and the tribulations, because now He knows that you're going to stand with Him and for Him. Now He knows that you're committed to your vision. Some of you, the reason why the elevation hadn't happened is because you may have been struggling with, and we all go through this in our growing process. You may have been struggling with, is this the thing to do? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And the Lord is going to confirm for you that it is indeed the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And for many of you, the struggle has been because it don't look like what you want it to look like, or you thought you were supposed to be further along by now. But God has you exactly where He wants you to be. And and if you're still in a point of struggling with some things that we already know that is the promise, He's going to have to keep you where you are. We be wanting to graduate a season. We be wanting to graduate and take a next step when you ain't able to handle what's at the next level. And people don't always want to hear that. But one thing that I've come to understand and realize is that God has me exactly where He wants me to be. And He had to prepare me for what's coming next. And I say this to you because this is what God is saying to you. Don't be begging the Lord to graduate you a step when you're not ready for it. Your pride is what will make you come out of a season or go ahead of the Lord, because you think you're supposed to have more than what God has promised you. You want it in your time and not His time. And what the Lord is saying is, you're not going to get it until He says so, or either He's going to bless you with it and then He's going to make sure that He takes it right back. Just like He had to uproot Judah and Jerusalem for disobedience, He had to send them through a season of exile for them to get back into alignment with His will and purpose, for them to get back into alignment with their assignment. And so Do not think that the Lord will, he'll bless you and he'll make you think that you got it all made and you got it all. You look, I'm on top of the world. And then he will humble you and remove everything that you now that you've put this false pride in and that you think that you have created. Don't be humble. Well, we're gonna talk about it in a message coming up. So I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it because it's coming, right? So just be mindful that for some of you, the distraction that the enemy is trying to use is pride. He's trying to make you think that you know better than God. You know where you should be, that God doesn't, like God don't know where you at. Like God doesn't see what you're doing. Like he's trying to use pride as a distraction. So just remember to keep moving with God. Keep moving at God's pace. Keep going in the direction that God is sending you. Again, they're bringing a lot of pride up. So and it's like and that's the other, it's like I don't know, that's all that's I'm saying about that is don't let your pride take you on unnecessary detours. Don't let, and that's why it's so important to make sure that you're listening to the Lord. Okay. Luke 8:10, he said, the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of God has been given to you, but to others I speak in parables, so that though seeing they may not see, and though hearing they may not understand. And if you need clarity, if you don't have any understanding, if you want to know what God's saying, go ask him. He's going to tell you. It may come on, Jesus. We look on the cut. Telling you, um, if you need to know, if you want to, if you don't have to wait, sometimes you're gonna have to wait on the answers as well. So anyway, I think that's it. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Y'all, hydrate your soul and things, drink your water, say your gratitude, have a fantastic and an amazing day in purpose on purpose. And I'll see y'all on the next one, child. Let me go record this next video. I love y'all in real life. Bye, y'all. Thank you, Lord.